Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our podcast series on educational excellence. I'm your host, Sochata, and today we are diving into something that is truly the heartbeat of any healthy school environment. It is episode 41, and we're talking about mentoring programs for new teachers.
Thank you, Sochata. It's a pleasure to be here. You know, when we talk about mentoring, we aren't just talking about a checklist or a formal meeting. We're talking about human connection and the survival of a career.
That word survival really strikes a chord, Mr. Sarwin. We've all seen it, the bright-eyed new teacher who arrives in September and by November looks completely exhausted and overwhelmed. It breaks my heart a little.
It's a heavy burden. The sink-or-swim mentality has haunted education for decades, but a high-quality mentoring program, that's the life jacket. It's the difference between a teacher leaving the profession in 3 years or staying for 30.
So let's get into the how. In your experience, what is the very first step to building a program that actually feels supportive rather than just another administrative task?
It starts with the match. You can't just pair two people because they share a lunch break. It has to be intentional. We look for a balance of pedagogical expertise and, more importantly, emotional intelligence.
Emotional intelligence? Tell me more about why that outweighs, say, having 20 years of subject knowledge.
Because a new teacher doesn't just need to know how to teach fractions. They need to know how to handle the child who is crying, the parent who is angry, and their own feeling of inadequacy. A mentor needs to be a safe harbor, not just a textbook.
A safe harbor. I love that imagery. I remember my first year, I was so afraid to admit I was struggling because I didn't want my mentor to judge me or report back to the principal.
And that is best practice number 2, confidentiality and trust. A mentor should never be an evaluator. The moment a mentee feels their job is at stake, the honesty vanishes. And without honesty, there is no growth.
Exactly. So if we've built that trust, what does the day-to-day look like? Is it just grabbing coffee once a week, or is it more structured?
It's a bit of both. Informal coffee chats are great for the soul, but a best practice program needs structure. We recommend a gradual release model. In the beginning, the mentor might model a lesson. Later, they co-teach. Finally, the mentor observes and provides low-stakes feedback.
Speaking of observations, those can be so nerve-wracking. How do we make feedback feel like a gift instead of a critique?
By focusing on the glows and the grows, you start with the strengths. I loved how you redirected that student with kindness. Then you ask questions. How do you think the transition went? Let the new teacher find the solution themselves. It builds their confidence.
That sounds so much more empowering. It's like you're building their internal compass rather than just giving them a map.
Precisely. Now, we also have to talk about the elephant in the room, time. Every teacher is busy. If the school doesn't carve out time during the workday for these two to meet, it won't happen.
It's so true. We ask so much of our educators. If we value mentoring, we have to put it on the schedule, not just on their to-do list at 5 p.m.
Absolutely. Best practice schools provide release time. They might hire a floating substitute for one period so the mentor and mentee can actually sit down, look at student data, or just breathe together.
I'm thinking about the mentors too. It's a lot of work to look after someone else. How do we support the veterans so they don't burn out?
That is such a vital point. Mentors need training too. You aren't born knowing how to coach an adult. We need to give them a community of practice where they can share their own challenges in guiding a new teacher.
It sounds like you're describing a culture of mentorship that flows throughout the whole school, not just a one-on-one relationship.
Yes. When a school embraces this, the new teachers feel seen, and the veteran teachers feel valued for their wisdom. It creates a cycle of professional love.
Professional love. I'm going to hold on to that phrase. Before we wrap up, Mr. Sarwin, what's one piece of advice for a new teacher who doesn't have a formal mentor yet?
Don't wait for the program to find you. Walk down the hall. Find the person whose classroom feels like a place you'd want to be. Ask them a question. Most teachers are just waiting for someone to ask for their help. You aren't an island.
You aren't an island. Thank you, Mr. Sarwin. That is a beautiful place to end today. Thank you for sharing your heart and your expertise with us.
My pleasure, Sochata. To all the new teachers listening, we see you and we are rooting for you.
And that's a wrap on episode 41. Join us next week as we discuss classroom environment design. Until then, keep supporting one another. Goodbye.